Yo, what's going on everybody? Echo here. I know it's been a while since I dropped any TikToks or anything, but I have been working on this little project for both the YouTube channel and the TikTok channel. Link will be around. So this little project begs me to ask the question, have you guys ever thought about getting isekai'd? Like, just the idea of dying and reincarnating in your anime world. If so, well, that's what I'm here for. We got a series of races called avatars. And I'm not talking about the blue monkeys, or The Last Airbender, or Korra, if you guys even know who that is. This is a different idea, form of isekai, where your soul reincarnates into something that just doesn't have a soul, or is just useless in the grand order. So just for context, we all know D&D is a multiverse. So any character, any race, or even just the real world is all connected into this multiverse. So when you die, there's a chance of being reincarnated. Becoming an avatar is something that's incredibly rare and only happens when you do reincarnate into these useless races, such as a mushroom or an imp, maybe even a cat or a dog. Now that we got all of that information out the way, let's just move on to the traits for now. These traits are just general traits that all of the races would have altogether, such as their size either being medium or small. You get to pick one feat at the beginning as level 1. And you got a form called avatar form. At level 2, you have access to this avatar form, which evolves your creature into a more useful humanoid state. Now, we are starting with a race called the Shrooms. Shrooms are avatars that reincarnated into mushrooms. And because mushrooms don't initially have a soul, they end up getting modified by the soul within them. So due to these modifications, they end up being able to walk and talk, but they are still tiny. They have a 20-foot movement speed. They get a +2 to their wisdom. They also get to eat any dead thing such as plants or animals just by sitting on it to absorb it. The bigger the object is, the longer time it takes. So if it's tiny, it would take up 2 minutes. If it's small, it will take up 10 minutes. Medium, 18. Large, 26. Anything above that would take roughly about an hour to weeks. That would be completely up to your DM though. The final ability they get is spores. Spores are a 14-foot sphere of gas that lasts 5 turns. You can move with it active, so it follows a trail, which makes it hard for anybody looking for you in there to spot you. Also, any creatures caught within this gas has to make a constitution saving throw, otherwise they'll end up taking 1d6 necrotic damage for 5 turns. You can use this ability once per long rest, and at level 5, it'll be 1 times your wisdom plus your proficiency per long rest. And its final trait is the Shroom Avatar. In this form, you take a small or medium size humanoid shape with a mushroom cap. You get the eyes, the ears, the nose, all of those benefits from being a human. But your skin is still made of the flesh of a mushroom, and you still have that mushroom cap over your head. Next up, we got the Manas. Manas are little gelatinous balls of magic. They are a tiny race, and they are kinda slimy overall. They can compress their bodies into fitting into 1-inch spaces, while also having a passive regeneration ability. They can heal 2 hit points per 3 rounds. They also have their own bag of holding type storage in their stomachs, so they can absorb things to put things in there. Because their bodies are made of magic, anything anti-magic related deal damage to Manas. So spells like Counterspell or Anti-Magic Zone will deal 1d6 damage for as long as they are in the zone or affected by the spells. They must make a Constitution saving throw to resist those effects and to keep their avatar forms, because they will drop out of it. To defend themselves, they can shoot out some tendril-like whips that has a 10-foot range and could be used twice per long short rest. Once they reach level 5 though, they can use it 1 times their constitution plus their proficiency times per long short rest. And then finally, the Manas Avatar. The Manas Avatar grows them to be about a small or medium sized humanoid. They will resemble a human, elf, halfling, or dwarf, but with their hair being the same color as their slime form, and also being a slime. Next up, we got cats. Cats are also incredibly tiny creatures with a 30-foot movement speed. They get +2 to their dexterity. They also get a 20-foot climbing speed. They have claws, which can be used as a 1d6 plus dex slashing attack. They also get dark vision for up to 80 feet. They see in a grayish tone, and because they're cats, they're also incredibly agile and nimble. So they get proficiency in stealth or acrobatics. Then finally, they got their cat avatars. Now, with their avatar form, just think Nikos or cat girls. They grow to a smaller medium-sized humanoid. They will resemble human, halfling, dwarf, or even elf, but with cat ears, whiskers, and a tail. So like I said, cat girls or boys. Now we got dogs. Dogs are small creatures instead of being medium, with a 20-foot movement speed. They get +2 to strength, and they get a bite attack which deals 1d6 piercing damage plus their strength. Because they have keen hearing and a sense of smell, they have proficiency in perception, and they also have blind sight up until 10 feet. They can use their bonus action to bark, and anything within 15 feet of them has to make a DC 11 wisdom saving throw, or else they'll be frightened. They get pack tactics, which allows them to move in groups and have advantage when a target isn't focused on one of them. Then finally, the dog avatar. Think wolf girls or wolf guys from anime. Small or medium-sized humanoids that resemble elf, human, or halfling or dwarf with dog ears, whiskers, and a tail. Next up, we got raccoons. Raccoons are also tiny with a +2 to their dexterity. They get dark vision to up to 80 feet and proficiency in stealth. They get a natural weapon in their claws, dealing 1d6 dex slashing damage, while also getting the bite natural weapon, dealing 1d4 plus strength piercing damage. Now it's their avatar form. They are small to medium in size, resembling human, elf, halfling, or dwarf, but with raccoon ears, tails, and whiskers. So with this one, just envision Raftalia. If you know, you know. Now we got imps, the baby demons. Imps are tiny with a +2 to their charisma. They have a 20-foot movement speed, but because they got little bat-like wings, they also get a 40-foot flying speed. They have a stinger tail, which deals 1d4 plus their dex piercing damage. They force their target to make a DC 11 Constitution saving throw or take 10 plus charisma poison damage. If they do end up saving the Constitution saving throw, they end up taking half that damage. They can also turn invisible twice per long short rest, while also getting dark vision for up to 80 feet. They aren't affected by magical darkness, so their dark vision still works for that. And finally, their avatar form. In their avatar form, they grow to a small or medium-sized humanoid and tend to resemble tieflings. Horns, tails, the whole schmick. But you also have to end up choosing whether you want to keep your wings that allows you to fly for 50 feet and are retractable, or your stinger's tail, which increases the 1d6 plus dex damage. Personally, I would stick with the wings, but that's just me. Next up are the rabbits. Rabbits are tiny creatures that gets a +1 bonus to their initiative rolls. They are proficient in perception, while also being able to move at 35 and a burrowing speed of 5. As a bonus action, they can replace their entire movement with a hop that is equal to 5 times their proficiency bonus in height. And now they get lucky footwork. If you fail a dexterity saving throw, you can use your reaction to roll a 1d4 to add to your potential success. Finally, their avatar form. You grow to a smaller medium-sized humanoid that will resemble a human, elf, halfling, dwarf, with features of a rabbit such as ears, whiskers, and tail. And finally, we have the spiders. Spiders are tiny with a 30-foot movement speed, and they can walk on any surface with 30 foot. They are durable, giving them a +3 to their AC, and they can move on difficult surfaces. They can use an action to shoot out webs that restrain a target, forcing them to make a strength check just to avoid it. DC save being 11 plus their constitution. They can sense and detect any contact made on their webs, being able to locate creatures caught in them. And finally, their avatar form, which is more simple than the other ones. They end up looking like a human, elf, dwarf, or halfling. Their hair color is the same color as their spider form, but At level 10, they also become a spider centaur, becoming a large creature with the top half as their human form and the bottom half as their spider form. While they also get a movement speed of 50, they can only hold this form for up to 5 minutes. Alright guys, thank you so much for sticking around till the end. But before I give, our little outro, I just want you guys to tell me which one of these is your favorite so far. Personally, mine is the Manas. As you guys know, I'm Echo the Slime. And that's the best thing we got to it. So, like I said, peace out. Have a very nice, fabulous, fantastic, amazing day. Echo out.